Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something lots of you are probably thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get those better paying clients? How do you really push your business forward?
Yeah, and we've got some great source material for this. It's a recording of a roundtable discussion, real DJs talking shop.
Exactly. Experienced DJs sharing what actually works for them, networking, marketing, how they position themselves for the premium gigs. We're going to distill all that down for you.
And there's quite a mix of perspectives. You've got the host of that roundtable, who's big on being upfront with pricing and targeting wealthier areas. Then there's Brent Lee. He's a preferred vendor everywhere, it seems. His whole thing is perfect execution and really strong vendor relationships.
Right. And Sean from DJ Biz School.
Ah, yes, Sean. He stresses how vital your sort of presentation and marketing are. You got to look the part to attract the high-end clients.
Makes sense. We also hear from Hunter, who's more about local connections, social media, maybe in a market where budgets aren't quite as high.
Then Nathan DJ Fire shares his experiences, juggling different budgets and how just being reliable makes a difference.
And Gwaine, newer guy, talking about raising prices with experience. And Chris, too, with specialty services and factoring in overhead. Lots to unpack.
Definitely. So our mission here is to pull out the practical, actionable tips from these guys. Stuff you can use whether you're in events or really any field where getting better clients is the aim.
We'll have networking, marketing, understanding different client types, all that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's dive in. First up, setting the stage, pricing, and who you're actually trying to reach.
So the DJ hosting the discussion, his first point was pretty direct.
Yeah.
Just be upfront with your pricing.
Right. Put it out there.
Yeah. And it seems simple, like just managing calls, but it's actually, strategic. By stating your price early,
You filter people out.
you filter, yes, but you also signal your value. It's kind of like anchoring. Your first price sets the tone, the benchmark.
That totally clicks. And then that ties right into who you're targeting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He mentioned focusing on specific zip codes, certain venues.
Exactly. If you want clients with deeper pockets, you've got to be where they're looking.
So fish where the fish are, basically.
Yeah.
Are you showing up, at the right industry events, online places where those clients hang out?
Precisely. And this connects perfectly to what Sean talks about later, aligning your brand. Your brand is like a magnet, right?
Uh-huh.
If all you show is, say, budget work, well, that's probably what you'll keep attracting. It needs to be consistent, website, social media, how you talk to people initially.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Venue relationships. Getting on those preferred vendor lists.
Huge.
The host suggested just, calling up venue managers, asking about their list. Seems straightforward, but you got to take the initiative. Why is that so important, though?
Well, Brent Lee's experience really shines a light on this. He's preferred at loads of top-tier places, and it's not luck.
So what's the secret?
For him, it just boils down to flawless execution every single time. No mistakes, no drama, just smooth professional service. That builds immense trust with the venue.
And he's pretty open about the schmoozing aspect, too. He said something like brown nosing and holding hands with coordinators.
Yeah. But what he means is going the extra mile, right? Making their job easier on the day. Being someone that can absolutely count on.
Becoming their go-to problem solver, almost.
Exactly. Brent Lee gets that coordinators are juggling a million things. If you're proactive, helpful, anticipate needs, you become indispensable. That creates real connections.
And those connections mean referrals. He mentioned someone still sending him work 6 years later just from helping out once.
That's the long game right there. Goodwill pays off.
Okay, but what about paying to be on a list? The host brought that up. Is it smart marketing spend or just throwing money away?
And Brent Lee had a pretty strong take on that. He basically said, if your work is consistently great and impresses venues and other vendors, you don't need to pay.
Your reputation does the talking.
Exactly. Your quality is the best marketing. He mentioned maybe some volume deals later, but that's after you've proven yourself, not an upfront fee just for access.
And the numbers back it up. Brentley said, 75% of his bookings from those lists and referrals?
75%.
Yeah.
That's massive. It just highlights how powerful those relationships are.
His goal, he said, is for venues to be like, oh, thank God it's you when he shows up. That's the reputation you want.
Yeah, definitely. And that feeling, that reputation leads us right into marketing and presentation, which Sean really hammered home.
Right, the visual side of things.
Yeah. His main point, your website, your social media, it has to look like the kind of high-end events you want to book. You need photos, videos of great setups in, fancy venues.
It sends a message.
A very clear one. He contrasted marketing for, I think he called them backyard low-class events versus, like, elegant weddings. Your visuals are often that very first impression.
So if your portfolio only shows casual stuff,
You'll probably get calls for more casual stuff. You need to show the level you operate at, not just say it.
that visual proof is key. High-quality photos, videos. They let potential clients picture their event looking that good. Makes you seem like the right choice.
Absolutely. You're selling the aspiration, the professionalism.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Client expectations. The host thought maybe higher-end clients would be more demanding. Pay more, expect more hand-holding. Seems logical.
But Sean's experience was kind of the opposite, which is fascinating.
Really?
Yeah, he found sometimes clients with tighter budgets, they can have higher expectations, maybe because that money is a bigger deal for them personally, so they scrutinize everything more.
That's an interesting angle. I hadn't thought of it that way.
He told a story about a really high-budget client from California, I think. Super easy to work with. Why? Because there was trust from the start. They weren't trying to nickel and dime or micromanage.
The trust factor.
Yeah. And it highlights that trying to constantly upsell someone who's already stretching their budget, that can create friction. Like another DJ, Crossfire, said, charging more often means less grief.
Less hassle, yeah. There's maybe a perception of value and trust built in with a higher price.
Could be. But the host also made a good point. You need clear boundaries and managed expectations with everyone, budget or no budget. Professionalism matters across the board.
True. Okay, so beyond just clients, what about networking with other pros, photographers, planners, etc.?
Brentley was huge on this. Build solid relationships with other vendors, photographers, videographers, coordinators, like that Danica he mentioned. It creates this powerful referral web.
The ripple effect, right?
Hey,
If a photographer loves working with you because you're reliable and make their job easier.
they're way more likely to recommend you. And Brentley had that practical tip. Put a preferred vendor page on your website.
Oh, that's smart. Show off your network.
Yeah, it signals the quality you associate with, and it can actually help your website traffic by linking out to other good businesses. Win-win.
Okay, but what if you're in a market where budgets are generally tighter, like Hunter's situation?
Right, Hunter's approach was different. More focus on personal connections, maybe being a bit more flexible on price initially to gain experience and build that local rep. You have to adapt.
Makes sense. And Nathan, with the school events, that was interesting too.
Yeah, the difference between public and private school budgets, he saw private schools as a potential target for more premium pricing.
And his strategy was basically be the reliable one.
Exactly. Justify the higher price by being the DJ who actually shows up and does a great job, unlike maybe some less dependable options they've dealt with before. Reliability is huge.
So crucial. Event planners hate no-shows or subpar vendors. If you're solid, you can charge for that peace of mind.
And Dwayne, the newer DJ, he talked about bumping up his prices as he got more experience, but also really explaining the value in his packages.
He had that analogy right. The butcher versus the supermarket meat.
Yeah. Quality isn't cheap, basically. You invest more, you generally get better quality, more expertise. His point was his service is worth the price.
And Chris. He brought in the specialization angle with his foam parties.
Right. A unique service. So he can charge a premium, factor in his costs like insurance, and he made the point that even budget-conscious clients might pay more for something really unique and well done.
Find your niche.
Exactly. Less competition. You set the value based on uniqueness. Become the go-to person for that specific thing.
Okay, one more area they touched on. Corporate events. Sounds like a good market.
Potentially very lucrative, yeah. Both Sean and Chris had positive things to say.
Sean's advice was key. Target the planners, not just the venues.
Yes. Corporate event planners are the gatekeepers. Build relationships with them, and that can open a lot of doors.
It's not just playing music, is it? It's about fitting the corporate need.
Totally. Tailoring things, custom backdrops for photo booths, maybe putting the company logo on your DJ booth vinyl, making it align with their brand and event goals.
Adding value beyond the basics.
And interactive stuff like adapting games, Corporate Feud, Jeopardy for team building, that justifies a higher fee than just background music.
Right. And Crossfire, he mentioned his animated LED booth being a hit for corporate gigs. something visually impressive.
That unique factor again, plus the technical side for corporate can be way more complex, right? Multiple mics, AV integration.
Oh yeah, definitely more involved than a wedding sometimes. Your price has to reflect that extra gear and know-how.
Absolutely. So when you boil it all down, what's the common thread through all these different strategies?
It seems like consistent effort, treating it like a real business.
That's it. Consistently working on your business, not just in it. Doesn't matter if it's full-time or a side hustle. You have to dedicate time to the marketing, the networking, the business development side.
It's not just about the gig itself. It's all the work around it, the strategy, the connections, improving your service.
Okay, so let's crystallize this. What are the main takeaways for you listening? Okay, first big one. Getting higher paying clients isn't about one single trick. It's a whole package deal.
Right.
Strategic pricing that shows your worth, marketing that actually speaks to the clients you want, building real solid relationships with venues and other vendors, and just consistently knocking it out of the park with your service.
Second, really know your target market. Who are they? What do they value? Then tailor everything, your look, your services, how you talk to them to match.
Third, that network effect. Building genuine connections and getting referrals. Often way more powerful and sustainable than just paying to be on some list. Your reputation matters a lot.
And even if you're in a tougher market, budget-wise, focus on reliability. Focus on what makes you uniquely valuable. That can still make you stand out.
Don't sleep on niche markets either, like corporate events. Might take a different approach, different skills, but the payoff can be higher.
And the big umbrella over all of this.
Consistent effort, a real business mindset. That's the foundation for growth, for getting those better clients, for long-term success. It takes work.
Okay, so here's something to chew on, a final thought for you. What part of your current strategy could really use its own deep dive right now?
Yeah, think about it. Are you truly showing off your best work to the right people? Are you actively cultivating those key professional relationships?
Or maybe it's time to get more specific, more intentional about targeting a certain type of client or market.
Because what these DJs show, really, is that taking intentional, focused action, whatever your field, that's how you start attracting the clients. Yeah, the compensation that you really deserve.